Okay, once again, welcome in this lecture. And this is the continuation of our lecture about discipleship. In the previous lecture, I talked about the importance of discipleship and how should we start and when should we start. And I told you that it is not a simple matter in the church, but it is a big matter. And even those who are doing discipleship, we have a big responsibilities. So this time, in this next lecture, lecture number 5, we will talk about the discipler's responsibility. What is our responsibility in this ministry? Okay, so the first thing is the responsibilities in discipleship. Okay, in the ministry, our responsibilities in the ministry. So I will emphasize because the next one is the responsibilities to our disciple. But now I want to talk about the general responsibility in this ministry. Okay, what you need to consider when you do discipleship. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk is that disciplers, you are a spiritual parent. Okay, the disciplers, he is a spiritual parent. What does it mean? Like a parent who have responsibility to their children. When we become mother or father, naturally we have responsibility. We cannot just leave them. We cannot just abandon our children. We care for them. We care when they wake up. We care when they sleep, when they eat, when they study. We care because we are parents, right? So this is the same when we do discipleship. We are the spiritual parent. You should not care only inside the church or during the ministry day, but even outside the church or not during your ministry day, you can take care of them. So what I mean is that some people, when they do discipleship, they just do their responsibility inside the church or only in the time of discipleship. They just think about this, right? Okay, now Saturday 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., I have discipleship, so I have care for this person. But after that, it's your life, it's up to you, how you live, it depends on you. But discipleship is not like that. Like parents, we care for them. When they go to school, even we think about them. When they go to work, we think about them. We care for them. So, discipleship will never finish. Think about this. People think, I just need to do it inside the church, but it's not. We also care even outside the church. For me, I teach inside the church, but also we can teach outside the church. I still remember I teach my disciples, even, I didn't set the time. We just met outside, and then that time I talk with them, and then I give them some advice about their studies, about their school, and then I give them, direction. I help them to plan and manage their time because I have concern. I'm not doing the ministry just because I need to do it in the church, but we can do it even outside. Even you can visit their house, you can teach them, and you can win their family. So, our responsibility is so big, like a parents. We care for them. And the second one, the discipler's responsibility for the ministry, he must be faithful and persistent. Again, faithful and persistent. What does it mean? We cannot expect our disciples to be persistent, Sometimes they will not attend. Sometimes they will not come. Sometimes they will make some excuse. It's normal. But the disciplers must have this attitude, being persistent and faithful to influence and teach his disciples. If you are not faithful, if we are not faithful as a disciplers, then how can we teach our disciples to be a faithful disciples? Okay, practically, for example, we must not be late. Don't be late. Don't be late. Because in this way, they will learn that they should, manage their time and they should care for their time. Many times, actually, I always teach my disciple that they should not be late in our discipleship. But if I am late, then they will be late. So what I'm telling you is that we are making the standard. And being faithful and persistent, we need to manage our time. If we want to be a faithful servant of Christ, faithful discipler, we need to start it, handling and managing our time. Don't be late. If we are late, then, again, they will be late also. How can we teach them to keep the time if we are the one who are not keeping the time? And second, don't skip. No, don't skip. They may skip. Your disciples may skip, but you should not skip. We should not skip. Why? Because if we skip and make some excuses, then they will do the same. They will skip. But parents, for us, I in Korea, actually, me and my family, we got all COVID. That time, my second daughter just came, only 1 year old, my second daughter. And actually, all of us are sick. And I cannot tell to my baby, I'm sick, I cannot take care of you. I cannot make excuse. I have responsibility because she is my daughter. They are my children. So even though I'm sick, I need to stand. I cannot make excuse. Why? Again, it's my responsibility to take care of them, to feed them. And this is the same thing when you have your disciples. We cannot make excuse. Sometimes, even though we are sick, if we can do, it's okay, we can do. But if we are really sick, then it's okay, we can skip. But as long as we can do, please do not skip your discipleship. We have responsibility. We cannot just make excuse and stop. And if possible, this is one more advice that I can give you. If possible, don't change the time. If you set the time like afternoon 4 p.m. or nighttime 8 a.m., if possible, don't change the time. Because if you do it again and again, same time, same day, then they will be used to. They will have in their mind, they will think, oh, today we have discipleship and I should prepare myself, and I should set my time, set my schedule, and set my priority because this time is my discipleship. They can make it priority. But if you change it, and you always change, it's okay. Sometimes we can change. But as long as possible, we should not change. So that these people will make priority. Because if you change the time again and again, they will not think that they should make or put the priority in this ministry. So we should not change if possible, so that they will think it is really important. They will think it is really necessary. Okay. And then the third one, he must be a matured Christian. We must be a matured Christian. The growth of the disciples in some part will depend on the maturity of the discipler. So the discipler must grow in many aspects, especially in their spiritual life. So, our maturity is very important. We cannot just, give soul to someone who is not yet matured Christian, because how can they handle the soul if they cannot handle themselves, right? So, if possible, we need to grow. So those who will do discipleship, the one who will be the discipler, then we should grow. Study the Word of God, pray, and attend your church, and then, ask some guidance for your pastor or for the other church leaders. And I encourage our pastors, those who will watch this video, and leaders, teach your members so that they can grow. And then if they grow, then they can be a discipler. They can handle the soul. So it depends on the disciplers. If they are matured Christian, then their disciples will grow. Okay, now, the discipler's responsibilities to his disciples. Before, I gave you the consideration as a disciplers or as a person who will handle this ministry. Now, the responsibilities to our disciples. This is a personal, okay? Your responsibilities to this person or to your disciples. So what is our main concern to our disciples? What is our main concern? First, their faith or spiritual life. We need to care about their spiritual life. Discipler must focus on the Word of God and let your disciples study the Bible and teach them. Yes, so that if you want them to grow in faith, then we must teach them the Word of God. Again, I told you before that you have to grow, study the Word of God so that you can teach them. And then second, teach your disciples to be prayerful. Also in the spiritual life, we need to teach them how to pray. So you can give them, the first time, teach them why prayer is so important, and always, pray for them. And sometimes you can even ask their prayer requests so that they will know, my disciples is praying for me. And then they will understand the importance of prayer and teach them about this. And then we should teach them to share the gospel. If you want them to grow spiritually, reading the Bible and preaching the gospel, sharing the gospel, evangelism, and prayer, this is really important if you want them to grow. And second thing, your concern for your disciple is their life. How they live. Okay, how they live. We should teach them how to manage their time. If possible, let them make the planner. Let them write down their plan for the day, for 1 week, or this, let them make plan. For me, I'm teaching my disciples to manage their time, so I ask them to write the plan, even simple plan, so that they will not waste their time. They will not, they will not just go in the day without any plan. So teach them how to manage their time. So make the planner. And then we should guide them how to live with discipline. So this one, we can teach them in their life about using phone, watching TV, media, and meeting the friends. We can teach them how to control themselves. I check my disciples' phone sometimes if there is some, like playing games, or if they are using too much, I'm checking it, because I do not care only inside the church, but even outside. I check how is your study, are you keeping your time, how about your phone, are you using too much, are you watching TV too much, and using social media. And then I'm checking, because we need to teach them how to live. We need to guide them. And then of course, the third one, even their studies, their academic part, we can teach them. It's also our responsibility. Because, Christian life is not only inside the church. We need to teach them about how important the study, so that they can improve themselves and they can be a leader. God can use them. They can be a teacher, they can be a doctor, they can be a lawyer. They will not grow only inside the church, but also they can grow outside the church. That's why you help them. You help them. We should guide them even in their study, help them to study to achieve their calling. All of us has calling, especially Christians. If we want to use our lives for God, then we must study hard and prepare ourselves. And this is the concern of the disciplers to his disciples. So again, this is really a big matter. Disciplers, your responsibility is so big. That's why you need to consider, again, what I told you before. You are a spiritual parent. And you must be faithful and persistent. And you must be a matured Christian. That is your responsibility for this ministry. And your responsibility for your disciple, you have to check their faith. You need to help them to grow spiritually and their life, how to live, and then you can help them and guide them to achieve their dreams in their life. So thank you so much for watching this video and see you again next time. Thank you and God bless you.